it was always a struggle because I always wanted to turn this into a career, but I always struggled financially constantly. And even Madagascar, I don't mind talking about it now because I'm past that stage, but I think even after Madagascar, whilst I was doing it for the love and passion, I was trying to turn it into a business, into a career. And I remember filming for, you know, a UK channel or Nat Geo for Mongolia, but failed. And I failed to get a book out, and then Madagascar again, failed with that, didn't get TV, didn't get a book. And so it was really hard. So I was still living with my parents then, at the age of 26, 27, still trying to grind away and still staying dogged as well because I really, really wanted it. So I knew that the next move had to be big, had to change everything. So I was pretty much deciding out of the Congo and the Yangtze, both brutes, both very difficult to plan. I think logistically, China is more difficult. I think physically, Congo was more difficult. And so when it came to the finance and how I was still stuck in the rush, it's like, fucking hell, that's 2 world firsts, no TV, and I'm really struggling to... Yeah. And it wasn't about that at the beginning, you know, because I wasn't on social media, but it became about that because I realized that if I don't manage to make it here, it'll either be back to lifeguarding or back to scuba diving in Thailand, where I'd have to count the pennies to make sure I could get the boat to the next island to have a night out or a good time or whatnot, you know? Yeah. And I just really needed to make it within this career. And it's very fucking difficult. And, you know, you have got competition, and as much of a legend that he is, Bear Grylls occupies all of the channels. And so anything you pitch to any channel, they're saying, yeah, but we've got Bear Grylls. And can you imagine? That's almost like a boxer trying to make it and then being like, oh, yeah, but we've got, you know, Anthony Joshua. It's like, yeah, but you've got Tyson, you've got Wilder, you've got Usyk, you've got all of these other fighters. You're giving them a chance. But it seems that with Bear, it's just Bear, and no one else is allowed to do any adventures or travels around the world for TV because we've got Bear. And it was really frustrating. So I thought this one has to be groundbreaking. This has to be sort of legacy. And then out of those two, the Congo and the Yangtze made more business and financial sense. Not only was I attracted by it because I went there at 19, you know, I'd explored it and I realized, fucking hell, I've barely seen China after spending 2 weeks and skirting along the coast because it's such a huge country. I realized that there's a river, the Yangtze River, the longest river in the world to run through a single country and the third biggest in the world. There's like 100 miles difference between, and when I say 100, like 3-4 days hike difference between the Yangtze, the Nile and the Amazon effectively. And so I thought, well, the Amazon's been done. The Nile was pretty much done. The Yangtze hasn't been done yet. So I partnered with Guinness Book of Records, partnered with WWF. We produced a documentary for National Geographic. You know, we were now on to big things. And then I set off, but that was difficult. 2 years in the making to plan that.